Hello and Happy New Year from the Tweezer channel. Myself from Alan from the channel, blah blah blah. And yeah, Happy New Year to everybody. Hope everybody's brilliant. We're going to do one of our little seasonal Tweezer talks, and I'll just let everybody know that we're all gone live. And as usual with most of my live broadcasts, if you can let me know in the chat that you can see and hear me, that would be much appreciated. So, how are we all? Did we have a good Christmas, New Year break? What games did we play? Um, I'm kind of jumping in where normally the War Room with ID Jester, Tony from Tony's Board Life, and the Rough Swordsman Wargamer would be doing their little piece. And they've been doing since, I don't know, the dinosaurs were around. But they're giving it a miss this week, so I've jumped in, completely uninvited, to just fill the time slot and just have a chat and everything. So if you were missing your War Room fill, then you'll at least get some really pretty low grade wargaming chat here instead. So Brian, hi, Montreal. Yeah, good to see you. Good afternoon. It would be there. Yeah, it's afternoon for you. Nordic, hello, hello, hello. Happy New Year to you both. Nice to see you. So, what have we got today? Well, our usual thing is that I go through some of the new games I've got since the last chat. What I'm playing at the moment, just give you an overview in Vassal of what I'm doing as far as Vassal games goes. Might be able to get across to the old gaming table just to the right of me to see what's going on there, although it's not that interesting at the moment. And then what I'm expecting to come in this new year in probably the first couple of months of the year. I think most of this should come in, and we'll go through those as well. So yeah, oh, Nordic, you have COVID. Okay. Nausea. Oh, that's not a good one. Oh dear. Well, let's hope you're feeling better. Has it stopped you playing games though? That's the important thing. Let's face it. Let's just call out the absolute importance there of feeling a bit low and ill. Does it stop you gaming though? Does it, or can you sneak in maybe a bit of vassal, maybe I don't know, computer game even, I suppose. So let us know how you're getting on with that. And yeah, so let me know what you've been playing as usual. But I've got just one more thing I thought I'd add into this one, which is a lot of people have been coming up with their best games of 2023, the top 10 of 2023, their game of the year, all of that stuff. Hiya, Brun, good to see you. I'm going to do slightly different. So, can you let me know in the chat what did you play in 2023 that really sucked? That you really didn't like the game? Because of course, what will happen then is that anybody listening in from any of the game companies will get really pissed off with it, and they'll probably sue you. But that's not my problem. I'm just passing on the message. But if you're brave enough to tell us what sucked, then do tell us what sucked in 2023 as far as gaming goes, and maybe I have a couple of stories for you as well. So, yeah, Mike, hello. Thank God somebody's working today. Indeed, that's it. I mean, yeah, up the workers, power to the people. Um, well, I'm not working that much to be honest, but there you go. I'm just chattering here, but yeah, it's good to see you, Mike. And Brian, you had it in December. Okay, and to be honest, I had it. I got it the day after New Year's Day, so I actually went to Spain for New Year's to meet up with my wife, and she ended up giving me COVID. So there you go. Um, yeah, that's the kind of family we have here, I'm afraid. But yeah, I was out. Yeah, the first week there was pretty ropey, but I'm pretty much okay now. But it's certainly the season for it. I'm sure people are getting cocktails of everything at the moment, floating around. It's but haven't been able to do much of anything for the last 2 days, Nordic. That's very disappointing. I think, yeah, I think you're letting the side down there. So, you know, cough and wheeze to the gaming table and get on with something. Come on, come on. It's, you know, have a bit of fortitude. Get that gaming scratch itched for the new year. But yes, and anybody else know? And yeah, as I said, any gaming experience? Well, a game that sucked, or possibly a gaming experience, or something like that. Nordic, you didn't play any bad games this year. Oh, come on, really? There must have been something that you thought, wish I hadn't have bought that, or gosh, wish somebody hadn't suggested that game. Come on. There must have been something. It can't be all a rose garden, surely. And anybody else? Anybody else is going to stick their neck out on what's their worst game of 2023? Come on, Mike. We want to see what you've got to say. And yeah, is it going to be a GMT game? Go on. I dare you. Yeah. Brunt only plays great games. Oh wow. I mean, well, I'll wrap up the chat then, shall I? Gosh. Yeah. No. Everybody has a wonderful gaming experience. Is that it? Is that what everybody's telling me? It's their gaming astuteness is such as well. Yeah, everybody's it's such a great taste. Yes, or are you easily pleased? Are you easily pleased, Brun? Brian, not you as well. Come on, somebody must have had a bad go with a game. Gosh. Nordic, you were nauseated up until 4 hours ago. Well, I'm glad you've decided to get rid of all that stuff ready for the chat. So much appreciated that you did that. You did that. So, but anyway, as I'm here, we haven't got Ruff or Tony or Jester here to go through their usual bleatings. I'm afraid, but you're just left with little old me. And yeah, I've just jumped in on the time slot to, well, for those addicts, those gaming chat show addicts, just to hold the side up, or down actually, holding the side down, I think, with this. But good, right, anyway, moving on, and do keep letting me know if you can think of anything that didn't really play nicely in 2023 for you. Yeah, let's just carry on. Okay, so new games for me. So Santa did appear for me. So 2023 sucked on all fronts. But not on the gaming front. But you didn't game as much as you liked. So that, I mean, that's a certain suckage. Is that a word? It's a word now. Yeah, the fact that you weren't able to play as many games as you like. Mike, hate to say any game is a bad game because I know what it takes and how much work most of them are to produce. A couple that are not for me. Well, not for me is good enough. Well, not for me. None of them are everything. But yeah, okay. Maybe it's a little bit too raw for everybody to just say, no, I don't like this game. And Hitler's Last Gamble from Nordic. Hey, there we go. I don't know the game, so I can't judge. But Hitler's Last Gamble, not a good game, says Nordic. And yeah, I wish there was a prize for the first person who stumped up with a game that sucked in 2023 for you, but there isn't any. We don't do giveaways and prizes and stuff in this channel. We're just complete cheapskates here, I'm afraid. But well done anyway. So Hitler's Last Gamble. So anybody can do better than that? Let me know. Right. Yes, Santa came to see me. But a little bit before that, I was happening in December across a live stream playthrough on Jester's channel with Jester of this little guy. Not a war game, but anyway, Terraforming Mars, the dice game. Now, I've got Terraforming Mars itself, and famously, I ended up playing it while listening to the War Room because sometimes it's really quite boring. So I thought he played the dice game, and it looked pretty good, and like the board game itself. So I picked that up. I actually had to buy this. Would you believe? I think it's in Holland. I was looking for a copy in the UK. Cheapest I could find was, what was it? It was like something like £58, I think it was, which is ridiculous. I thought, hey, that's a bit much. And then I found a copy of it in on a game site, which was a game shop from the Netherlands, who had it for €35, including free shipping. So there you go. So I said, yeah, I'll have that. So yes, this is it's in English. It's in English. It's not Dutch or anything. It's just a normal game. But anyway, there you are. I'll briefly show it to you because hey, we've got to pass the time, haven't we? So and have a quick look at it. But if you want to see a playthrough, Jester did it. I don't know. It must be about a month ago now, I think. Excuse me. That's a huge box. It's not a huge box. It's a tiny box. Well, medium box kind of thing. Nordic, you tried 3 times to play Hitler's Last Gamble. Gosh, wow, that's dedication. A 3W game. Okay, that might explain things a bit. Yeah, there can certainly be a variability in 3W games. As I remember, I haven't played one for years. But anyway, here's the board. It's only a little board. So if you know the card game, hold it that way. It's probably a bit better. The board game, it's a lot bigger planet with a lot more hexagons to place things on. And I'd actually almost say that it's called the dice game, but it's still lots and lots of cards. So we have lots of cards here. You have your corporations. So if you know the main game, you have a corporation and you're trying to terraform Mars, temperature, oxygen level, and amount of water, oceans. Here is the dice. So that's the driver of the game, are these dice here. So where you had in the game, you had the cards were driving what you could do. Here it's the dice, and you can get actions to get more dice, and you can use the dice. They've got different. They're custom, so it's not 1 to 6. So each of the sides, there's a common side, a normal side, and a rare side, which either has 3 sides, 2 sides, or 1 side, and you roll them to see what they represent, and then you can trade them in to build these cards, and these cards will, help with the terraforming, give you victory points, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much the game. Interestingly enough, you've got things like these markers here, which are wild cards. They're like any dice roll that you can earn and then use. But that's really the game. So don't really want to say too much more about that. That's Terraforming Mars, the dice game. So that was recommended. Well, it wasn't necessarily recommended by Jester, but it was played through on that, and that's that one done. Right, what was the chat saying about this? Got Hexplore It, Domain of Mirza Noctis. Okay, it probably takes you a while just to say the title. Totally into it. Crazy good game. Okay, never heard of that. Who's that by? That's quite a title, really. Explore It, Domain of Mirza Noctis. Okay. Yeah. Um, yeah, Kevin. Indeed. Well, I say it just arrived, and that was it. It took a little while, but you know, just you got to love the Dutch. Indeed, everybody needs to love the Dutch. Um, yeah, indeed. And Brun is Dutch, so everybody loves Brun. Um, God, we're getting all a bit. It's gotten all a bit too friendly here. All a bit too friendly. Right, next. What happened next? Okay, so then we got into Christmas. And then one of my daughters bought me, and again, not a war game, but bought me this Wingspan. So we actually played this, me and my two daughters, back in the summer, I think, at a board game cafe at the local town. And it was quite good. It was quite good. I think they really enjoyed it. So she decided to get me an actual copy of it, and it's quite a package. It's nicely presented, nicely done. Um, we've got yes, actually it's gone a bit awry in here, but we have rule books. You see, it's all very pretty, and we have. Um, rounded counters here, and they provide the little trays, although it's not really holding that well within the box. It's starting to wonder. And we have custom dice again, so which are quite cool. Lots of bags upon bags upon bags in here as well. So interesting dice here with different sides: snakes, fish, rats, berries. Presumably it's a kind of food. What food's available? And I can't remember. I played it, and I don't think I won. But and then we got lots of cubes here. There's another set of trays there, and there's a lot of cards, and the cards represent. And I haven't opened it yet, so the cards represent birds themselves, and the whole game is about bird watching. There is also a board which you organise, or each player has a board, like a tableau which you organise. I'm not going to pull it out because everything's going to go everywhere, and it's not a war game anyway, so you probably aren't interested. But anyway, that's Wingspan quickly. How are we doing? Great Alexander on my shelf, indeed. Have you played it yet? I have not. It's still sitting there glaring at me. Alexander is glaring at me over my shoulder, feeling very self-conscious about it, but no, I haven't. There is a rumour that me and Ruff might be getting to it at some point, to do a live stream for the two of us playing it. But no, I haven't. Punch and clip, so do I. I haven't punched or clipped that at all. So, yeah, but I will get to it. I'm interested in playing Plum Island Horror. Now, Mike, you always do this. You jump ahead. I'm doing a chat show here where I've got it all nicely sorted out. I've got topics to talk about, and then you jump in and go right onto there. Yeah. So, yeah. But yes, the answer is yes. But wait till we get. I was the one that said the Condor wins. Indeed, that's right. Yeah, I can't even remember my own jokes. Yes, the Condor wins. Indeed. I don't even know if that's really particularly funny. Nordic, what's the game about? Wingspan. So it's actually about bird watching. Although you kind of collect birds, and the birds kind of thrive, and you get points for the ones that you saw, how well they do, kind of thing. Very British game. I don't think it's British. I'm not sure. Might be. It's Steinmeier Games. No, I think it's American. Yeah. I think that's Missouri. Hazelwood, Missouri. Yep. So no, not a British game. But yeah. Anyway, very popular. I understand. It's like huge on Board Game Geek. It's right up the lists and stuff. So Interesting to get to that. So, what beyond that? So, back in November, we had the Wingspan of a Spitfire. Indeed, there isn't one of those. Sorry. Um, back in November, I think it was, there was the GMT sale, a yearly GMT sale, in which I had, oh god, something like 7 or 8 slots for 50% purchases. I wasn't too mad this year on GMT games. Relatively mad, but not stupidly mad. I think I was talking to Ruff about it, and Ruff Salzman, I think he had 20 slots. He'd bought 20 games on on P500. So like, my God, he'd got a load of Panzer. There had been a load of Panzer expansions and things like that. He got a huge amount of those, and he'd gone for a couple of big ones like Pacific War and what was that other one? Yeah, the other one I didn't go for. But anyway, so so I ordered 3 games. Again, I wasn't. There was only one I was really interested in, and I was really interested in a slightly misinformed way. Not particularly in a bad way, but you know. So I did actually think about it for a few days what I would get. I ended up with 3, and they only just arrived. So I've had them. Well, I think it was just after New Year. So during that week, probably the 3rd or 4th, I think it arrived here over here. So I was beginning to wonder, to be honest. Michael, good to see you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. And yes, just so you get the same treatment as everybody else. Let me know. Contrary to the normal best game of 2023, top 10, all that kind of stuff. Tell me your worst one of 2023. What game sucked for you, or gaming experience? If you're like all of the chat, it seems, where they've just played brilliant games throughout the entire year and haven't put a foot wrong. So Patrick, good to see you as well. Yep, that applies to you, Patrick. Let me know. And just a normal thing of, what have you been playing, particularly over the Christmas New Year period. There's been some downtime. I'm sure we'll be able to get anything, unless you've been ill, like Nordic and a few others as well, and including me as well. So anyway, back to what I was talking about, which is the new games that came through. And Nordic, yes, indeed. One of them that came through in those 3 is, as you say, Under the Southern Cross, which I actually have out on the table over there. So I might show you that later if I can organise the technical stuff. But interesting, flying colours, but standalone game, which is great. And it's all these little South American battles, which is interesting. It's sort of Portugal and Spain versus, the fledgling Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, Peru as well. So yeah, it's interesting little game. Quite a few scenarios. Let's open it up and see. Does come with some cards, which are maneuver cards, but these are optional. You don't have to play with these. And if I'm going to do it solo, I'm certainly not going to bother playing with those. But they have this special map that comes with it, which is known as the Duel map. Duel, D-U-E-L, Duel as in, like a diamond or something. And that's it's interesting because it's kind of like you get a single ship versus a single ship, and it's almost like a boxing ring kind of thing. If you can see here, this sort of massive hexagon with little hexagons in, and then you've got all the tables and stuff on the actual map, because you've got to put something else in the whole thing, haven't they? So so there's some scenarios where you do the dueling, ship versus ship. There's quite a few of those, and then there's the standard ones. You got a couple of maps, not back printed. This is one of them. The other one's on my table, and you've got sort of shallows and deep water channels and stuff, because quite a lot of this is like rivers and stuff like that. So you have or estuaries at least. So you have, yeah, so you have all those. That's the rule book here, and it's not. It doesn't look like a difficult game. I've skimmed the rules, like I do. I always do. I skim the rules and then just plug on. I don't sit there and kind of completely immerse myself in the rules before touching anything. So the rules only go up to 17 pages. There's some optional rules as well, which kind of look fun. Grappling and towing, casting the lead, which I'm sure that's a euphemism for something else. So yeah, we'll be getting on with that, and I'll show you the layout in a little bit. But that's under the Southern Cross. We have I've actually partially punched it, so I've got the information counters out and punched. Let me show you that. But actually, you'll probably see that in a bit. But I'll just show you this anyway. That's the information counters there. Whoops, a bit higher. There we go. And then we've got most of one other counter sheet there with lots of little ships. We've got 3 big ones here, a Brazilian, a Spanish and a Portuguese ship, I think. Yeah, pretty sure that's that. All the others are little ships. And commanders, of course. And then that's it. That's it in the... some player aids here. This is a fold-out one. So, firepower. Hit results is in that big middle table, and then movement and wind adjustment. Wind adjustments kind of thing I need sometimes at my age. Bit of wind adjustment. So yeah, flying colours. So sorry, not flying. Under the Southern Cross. So well done, Nordic. We managed to match on something. That's brilliant. And yeah, I say kind of trying it out at the moment. So Camp, hello. Good to see you. Serpents of the Sea map and cards, right. Michael's worst game of all time was Hitler's Reich. Okay, so Hitler's Gamble and Hitler's Reich. So Hitler's getting some bad press here, which is not a problem. Let's face it. But was that 2023 or was that is that the previous one? Playing the Napoleonic Wars on Sunday. Ah, yes. CDG multiplayer. Yes. Where the hell is that? It's somewhere. Oh yeah. No, I moved it. It was behind on my shelf, but it's over. Oh yes, it's that way. You might just be able to see it there. It's just next to Empire of the Sun, that Paths of Glory. So very difficult for you to see, but it is there. I haven't played it much. I played it initially when it came out, and it was. I didn't rave about it. I don't know. So yeah. It's Historic Wings are in. It's Thomas, who produces games that I can't play very well. Happy New Year to you, and Gareth as well. Gosh, wow! Get the band's coming back together. It was never together, but you know, a new band forming. Let's go with that. Yeah, good to see both of you guys. Happy New Year, and do tell, it's my standing thing as an antidote to everybody with their top 10 games of 2023 or their game of the year or something like that. What's the game that absolutely sucked for last year? Let me know what that was, or at least a gaming experience, so we can bring the tone down. So Nordic, you're off. Good to see you in a bit. Go and have a lie down, as you're not very well. So yeah, keeps persuading me I'll be able to play him properly. So it remains to be seen. But I'm quite convinced that the issue is me and not the game. So What game wasn't good? Yeah, for 2023, what you didn't enjoy, and you can't pick one of your own games. That's unlikely, but I mean, if you really want to pick one of your own games, go for it. Yeah, that'll be a little weird, but probably entertaining for everybody. So go for it if you need to. We were just talking about Under the Southern Cross. There's new games that came in. This was GMT's 50% sale. I got that on. The next one I got was Border Reavers. Now this was, and I'll be honest, I was looking for a third, and I was thinking, what is it going to be? And when this first came out on P500, I wasn't that interested. It was kind of, yeah, Anglo-Scottish border raids. Well, you know, it's kind of not interesting for me. Even though in the same country, but it wasn't really that. But I looked at it and I thought, well, you know, it's a multiplayer game. It's not completely wargamer-ish. And Carl, good to see you. Happy New Year, you indeed yourself. How have you been? If I want to fly it live, I think I want to be shot down live or crashed live. Sure, you're there to help. I will let you know. Yeah, Cole, good to see you. Let us know the game that sucked for you in 2023. That's my topic for today. So yeah, we're just talking about Border Reavers. Got that through. When it arrived, I suddenly thought, oh, good, this is probably one I can get on the table very quickly. So, and I did. And it's got a solo system. I think it's the GMT1 group that produced a solo on this. Being honest, I'm not sure on this one. It was fine. I think I had some issues with the graphics on here. I find the graphics are a little muddy. Everything seems to be sort of either tan or light green, and the borders don't stand out for me. I can show you what you show on there. It's I'm not sure the choice of colours were brilliant. It's quite evocative, of course. You know, it's kind of moorland up by the borders, and it does look like that. But on gameplay, I was kind of wood for trees, seeing what the hell, which area was how extended, how much of an area was. How far did an area particularly extend? I was sometimes putting, because you had to put counters on each area, and I was putting too many out because I thought one area was actually two areas because of the graphic. It was kind of, and again, it's probably my eyes rather than anything. But yeah, the gameplay is smooth. There's certainly as far as I can tell, I haven't played the multiplayer, but certainly on the solo, there's only 3 turns in the game. And there's a round of kind of deck building, if you like, or prep with not purchasing cards but picking cards around, and then you have a round of selecting targets. You put target cards in, and all the bots do as well for the other 3 players. You can have 6 on this, but it's a 4-player with 3 bots as the solo, and then you flip those cards over to see who gets a go, and you work out, there's kind of logic, you work out what the bots do and then what you do, and you earn victory points on what you do. There's an interesting mechanic I quite like called notoriety, and what that is the more stuff you do that's successful in a particular region, the more likely it is you'll get bonus dice for doing more stuff. So it kind of you kind of want to reinforce success really on this, or if you're failing, you need to address that. Otherwise, you're going to be in a bit of trouble trying to do anything in those regions. But yeah, let's say open a box anyway. What am I talking about? Oh, there's lots of stuff in the chat. Everybody's been chatting away, and I've been ignoring them. B29 Super Fortress was your worst game. Okay, why? Too many rolls to navigate your way to Japan and back. It just drags. Is that realistic? Yeah, I'm sure flying a B29 all the way there and all the way back, except for the scary bits, was probably quite draggy. Gav, he didn't like Skyhawk. Oh yeah, that was, who was that? Was that? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, solo, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't go for that. I didn't go for that. Another air game there. Oh right. Oh, so Thomas's dad flew a B-29. Hated it. Yeah, I understood there was some sort of overheating problem or something like that, wasn't there? And it was interesting story about a B-29 I heard. Not sure if it was apocryphal, but when they wanted to deliver the atom bomb, originally the B-29 actually had 2 bomb bays rather than the one, and neither of them was big enough to take the atom bomb. So there was a period of time, I understand, where they could possibly considered using Lancasters because that had a big single bomb bay and could take the bomb. But then I think they reorganised how the internals were on the B-29, and then it was able to, and then they used the B-29 anyway. But that was just interesting. Right, so there's a Korea expansion. What for B-29? Well, I suppose they must have used them there. Yeah, sure. Okay. Carl, it was just crap in general. All right. Oh, okay. Was that so? Just weren't able to get to gaming? Was that, or well, I suppose that probably is it, rather than just playing bad games. Well, if you, hopefully you'll, as you say, get back into it this year. That'll be good. Streamlining it, yes, yeah, indeed. Indeed. And played Skies Over Britain. You weren't convinced on the meaningful decisions in Skies Over Britain. Interesting. Yes, I think maybe the game kind of played you a little bit, which a lot of these solo games that can happen to. And I'll be honest, possibly this one was a little bit like that. The game was kind of playing you, and you were tinkering around the edge a little bit. I can see what you mean, although, yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't get that feeling. I didn't quite get that feeling, but I do know what you mean, indeed, about maybe the game was playing you a little bit. Anyway, so what have we got here? This is the board which I showed you, the back of the. It's a mounted map, something, and I'm going to do my usual horrible origami version of map folding here to try and, oh god, here we go, trying not to rip the old connections, you know. So here we go, and I think I've got it upside down, haven't I? Have I got it upside down? Yeah, I think I have. So let's hang it this way, and I hope I don't put my shoulder out. I think I might have done actually. There. So you see what I mean. I don't know if you do, but just getting the idea of the regions and stuff. Get the important bits sorted out. I just found it a little bit cluttered and a bit samey myself, but again, it's old eyes for me. You have so there's 6 families. So this is one of the families. This is kind of your tableau again, and when you get particular cards, they'll add you. You have a warden, which is kind of defensive person. You have a reaver, which is an attacker. Allied grains. These are kind of little families that help you out. You can get offices, so you know, which give you an advantage, some kind of proper job. As part of the board, there's 3 Scots families, 3 English families, and then you can hold your cards as well, so you can hold them to play. So there's 4 of those. They're identical except for the name. Then there's quite a lot of solo stuff here. So we've got there's a solo rulebook, so you don't actually have to. And I haven't actually looked at the multiplayer rulebook to play the solo game. However, I must say that I think there's an assumption that some things are better explained in the multiplayer side than once you get to the solo one. So some of the jargon was a little bit difficult to pass, and I think it was possibly because they were written sequentially. But yeah, you got a score sheet at the end to see how well you did. Yeah, interesting on the bot side, on the bot solo side. So you gain victory points. I don't think you lose them. You just don't. If you don't do stuff or something bad happens, then you don't gain, if you like, or your position becomes worse. You have there's a little kind of draft sheet, so it's kind of like the bots version of your tableau, but it's for all the bots together. Then you have somewhere to put the card decks. This is again, I don't. This isn't actually solo, but I think certainly used in the solo, but I think it's multiplayer just for discards and how to play. Victory point track, which is kind of cute, I think. Another play aid for solos. This is more stuff for the solo here. And then got these little play aids here, which tells you this normal sequence of play and how combat works. There are lots of different types of combats, raids and other things here. I pulled out most of the counters, but there's also counters for number of dice. So you can either put the dice down in a box for the number of dice you're going to roll, or you can use these counters, and I just used the dice. You get quite a few dice, but I also was able to supplement them as well, but you get quite a few d6s with it. And then you have each of the family are colour coded. So this is the Hume family, which are green, and they have the little cubes are markers, and then you have cards these are the target cards here that you pick. You can use them once in the game. You use 2 per turn. There's 3 turns, so you get 6 of those cards. There's also, and these are the cards themselves here. If I can, yeah, there we go. So, oops, somebody's trying to call me. Hang on a minute. Sorry about that. It's one of my daughters trying to ring me in the middle of the. Yeah, so here is the. Here's the cards. This is the turn 3 decks. There's a deck for each turn, different kinds. So it's these little black symbols that denote what kind of card it is. And in the solo game, you just deal 3 at a time. You pick 1 and give 2 away to the bots, and you do that. 7 times, but 1 of those times you just throw all the cards away, and it's just like it. And then any cards left over in the deck, you actually give straight to the bots. So that's not fair, but anyway. It's got cute sheep, little meeple sheep, and meeple horses, if I can find them. Oh yeah, meeple horses. So sheep is how big your economy is. Sheep. The money is cattle, but the cattle don't have little meeples. Cattle are just like a chain, like a money counter, and then the horses are what you use to go and beat other people up. They kind of don't just represent the horse; they represent the sort of the riders as well. So yeah, that's Border Reavers. So I don't know if you guys have had any experience with it. Let me know what you think. So I'm okay on it. I'm not sure on it with one solo experience, but that's probably not enough to make a judgment. Let me know what you guys think of it if you've played it. Yeah, map is quite big. It's surprisingly big, isn't it? There's a lot of space in it. Um, and Delight Prime Minister. So I've only played the Clockwork one solo. Didn't get back to doing the number two. Um, it's okay. I just got duffed up by the bot Prime Minister, or the bot opposition leader. Just didn't do very well on it. I think, like quite a few of these games, the multiplayer is a lot different, and I'm kind of looking forward to doing a multiplayer on it. I haven't had the chance to do that, but it would be good to. Yeah, it looks good, but I don't know if I could try doing a sort of solo multiplayer, and see how it goes. I think it's all in the cards. I think the intrigue and the activity. So I think it's probably a bit tricky to do it justice as a multiplayer, playing it solo rather than the solo version. If anybody's had a go on the multiplayer side, let us know. See what you think. Um, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Pericles, with that sort of, you've got two people per side, but only one person can win, and you have to kind of help you have to work together on your side, but you want to be the person that actually wins. Um, and Bill collectors. Oh right, okay. Is that too many games? Cole? Um, Battle of Newmarket from Death Valley on the table. Oh, okay, yes, very very good, Kevin. Yeah, yeah. How's that? Um, how's that going? Well, you're still reading the rules on it. Yes. Well, it is quite an intense system, as you probably saw with I did the live playthrough with Roth of Rutherford's Farm, which was quite a um, tiny little skirmish, really. But yeah, there's quite a lot to it. Punch and Clip, Death Valley, and the supplement. Well, yeah, it's on the list for the year. It might take you the whole flipping year actually to do both of those, but yeah, good luck with that, and don't mess up your joints and end up with arthritis while doing it. At least you're not doing what was it, Red Strike? That must be. Oof. Oh, poorly played joke about your phone, bill collector. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was my daughter actually. But yes. Oh, sorry, didn't get it. Well done, Cole. Sorry, got the better of me. Um, yeah, my phone ringing. Uh, it's sod's law, isn't it? My daughter doesn't ring me for 2-3 weeks or something, and then right in the middle of the most recent um, chat, decides to ring me in the middle of it. But there you go. Right, where was I? Yes, and the last out of the three. God, this is taking ages. I'm just blabbing on, aren't I? Last one was Next War Poland Second Edition. So a little story behind this. So I P500. So the only Next War version I've got is Vietnam. So I P500 it. The P500 did. Yeah, I'm inventing words again. P500 did the Next War Supplement number 3, which had a load of stuff for Next War Poland, which kind of annoyed me. And I thought, I've only got Vietnam. There was some stuff for Vietnam. It's not that bad, but it was like wall to wall. There was loads of stuff for Next War Poland. Okay, so when we came to the GMTC, I thought, well, tell you what, why don't I get Next War Poland then? See, I've got the supplement, loads of stuff in. Of course, I didn't actually look too much at what was in Supplement 3. So what Supplement 3 mainly is about is a second edition upgrade on Next War Poland First Edition. So, of course, I then got Next War Poland Second Edition. So all the stuff that's actually in Supplement 3 comes in this box anyway. So I'm glad I got the game anyway. The geopolitical situation being what it is, it's quite an interesting one to have. And yes, I'm currently playing a Next War Vietnam game on Vassal, which we'll get to in a little bit. if I can stop blabbering about this stuff. But yeah, Next War Poland. It's seems to be the kind of most popular one of the series. I think really, it's one that everybody talks about anyway. Oh yeah, I gave it on Poland. I know. Yes, I did. Interesting. So yeah, we got maps here. We've got little maps of Bornholm, is it? Gotland and Bornholm, which are in the sort of Swedish. Are they Swedish? I think Gotland is. I'm not sure. Bornholm might be Danish. In the Baltic Sea. Then we've got a little thin long map, which I think originally didn't come in first edition, but is on here, which is the area is around Kaliningrad and the bottom half of Lithuania. So that's a kind of expansion on the board. And then you've got the main board, which is here. Graphics are nice and clear on this series, I think. And this is a lot easier to read than Vietnam, actually, because with Vietnam, you've got the jungle, which is on top of either rough or highland, and it's kind of blue. It's kind of blue, green on top of various shades of beige. So it can be a little. Okay, which one's that? You can yeah, I got a little bit confused. There's the off-map chart, which gives you the rest of the Baltic, Finland and Estonia and Latvia and stuff. So it's the off-map chart, just like it's like the Pacific map in Vietnam as well. Game-specific rules and scenarios, which I think, again, I've got 2 copies of that now. Standard advanced series rules for the series had that with Vietnam anyway, but it's good to have another one. And yeah, I haven't punched this, so this is all the various. If you know the series, it's all the same as you know what you're used to. The ship brown Russians. Always appreciate using ship brown as a colour in wargaming. It's always slightly amusing. So yeah, there's the Russians, and then yeah, the various NATO allies here: the French, the British, the Germans, the Poles, and the Americans. Yeah, and a few more Americans here. So we've got Russians, blacker Belarus, I think, and then we've got the US. Navy, Air Force, Army, and two sheets of markers. There we go. That's that. But there's a lot in the package. A lot comes in. It's quite a heavy box. There's lots and lots. This kind of reminds me of Red Storm or Elusive Victory. Lots and lots of tables to deal with. There's a standard game and there's an advanced game, and even with the advanced game, using the supplements, there are some alternative advanced things as well. So you won't necessarily use all these cards, but there's a lot to go on. I mean, what's this? Yeah, this is probably it says special forces. Then you've got all the advanced strike and detection here. Interdiction and collateral damage on the back. It's a nice system. I quite like it. It's quite procedural, so you've got to move on to the next bit in a turn. There's nothing wrong with that. It kind of organises it for you, which is quite nice, rather than think, oh God, what the hell do I do now? It's all, you know, when you do this, your special forces missions, where you do your strikes, when you do your movement and combat, supply, etc., is all organised on the sequence of play. So, that's I think that's actually a bonus there. It's got a good detailed sequence of play. And there we go. That's Next War Poland. How are we doing in the chat here? Gosh, I've gone off the chart here. I have to wind back a little bit. Oh no, I don't. There we go. Nordic's got games to punch and click. Well, while you're feeling low, how's that for kind of cathartic experience, kind of occupational therapy kind of stuff? You can punch and clip, just to fix your mind and try that. Maybe not, but yeah, this is a suggestion from me. Just trying to help out here. You can't fault a guy for trying to help out. Only one new game coming out, the P500. Interesting, and that is. I mean, we're not gonna not know from that intro what that's going to be. So tell us, Nordic, what is that game that's coming out on P500? You're going to go for next Wargames? Yeah, I mean they are big, but I think the vassal modules are pretty good. So if you're spatially challenged, then vassal's not a bad option for it. Yeah, Michael, as I say, but the vassal module is quite good. But I do have stuff coming up in that kind of area. Sort of modern stuff as well, so there's going to be some competition for my gaming time, along with real life and everything. How much table space do you need? Ooh, so I haven't laid it out, but it's like one normal map plus a kind of extra. You saw that extra sort of wide bit on top. Then you've got the display for the rest of the Baltic and the areas and stuff like that. So you've got I think with tables and everything like that, I think you've got to look at, it's almost like a 3 mapper equivalent. So quite big. I think it's quite big. But of course there are smaller scenarios, and if you can get over that. Or one thing that I have done in the past with games like that is a kind of partial vassal. So you have the game in front of you, but you have the tables and all these sort of extra mappy bits. This sort of like the rest of the Baltic kind of map, actually on vassal, and that can work as well. France 40 you got coming out. Actually, I haven't gone for that myself. Sort of I've got enough 4X games, dash 4 or apostrophe 4X games. So the last one I got was Salerno, and I think I've got enough for that system. I think so. I didn't go for North Africa, and not going for that one either. Dark Valley, all right, interesting. I haven't gone for that series either. It's kind of one of those things as if there's a series there and you go, do you want to delve into that? All the cost for the games and learning new system and all this kind of stuff. And sometimes you just kind of get, nah. Yeah, Patrick, indeed. It's a detailed, enjoyable and clear, and it kind of guides you, which is nice. You really need it. You really need it. There's a lot of stuff for you to do in it, particularly with the advanced rules. And I think the advanced rules are really where it's at. You find that in a lot of games that have sort of standard rules and advanced rules, is that the standard rules are okay, but really you're itching to get to the meat of the advanced rules, and you kind of skip to that, I think. So Carl, you're going for you've got 2 France 40s. Is that, if you got a second edition of those, can you get them together and they suddenly are France 80? Maybe if you have both of them together. So only 43. Yeah, it was quite. It was quite good. I did with Andrew from Australia. I did live through that. I kind of cocked it up at the end, I must admit. But it seemed very crucial for the British Commandos to get Salerno on the first turn. It was a real sort of, not say a game changer, but a game situation changer. If that happened or not, it's kind of like a real pivot in the game from what I could see. Right. Anyway, let's move on. Otherwise, I'll start to lose my voice and everybody will be asleep. Right. So what have I been playing myself? So let's get that up if I can. I'm just going to change the camera thing here, so this should work. Abracadabra. Here we go. So, been playing some Wing Leader, Kursk, Kursk campaign, which came with, I think, Wing Leader Legends expansion kit. So it's a very simple campaign because you just string several scenarios together rather than have a sort of shell game on the top, like you do with some of the other campaigns like was it Kiev and Rabul and stuff, where you have to manage the amount of planes you have. And this is I'll show you the where is it? Oh, actually, I can show you on the screen because you're not seeing me anymore. Yeah, if I so this is the campaign card. So what you have really here is you've got your campaign and you start with the scenario 01, and then depending if the Russians or the Germans win, you go on to the next. So and the orange, the orangey ones, the red ones, or orangey ones, are when the Soviets are raiding, and the blue ones, of course, where the Germans are raiding. And you get to the end as you win or lose each of the scenarios, you'll get a campaign victory point. So in here we started on DOK 01, so that was his strike, his incoming raid. I must admit, throughout most of this, both of us have been absolutely abject about bombing. So his bombing didn't do very well. We then went, of course, on to Spearhead because the Germans we followed the Black Arrow Spearhead, whereas I had 3 squadrons of Ju-88s who were doing some steep angle attacking on what was it, a bunker and some infantry and stuff. Completely fudged that. Didn't hardly hit a thing. So failed on that. We ended up on counterattack, which was just finished, this DOK 05 in the middle, in which finally my opponent got their bombing boots on and managed to do some nasty damage on some tanks. I had a squadron of ME-109s who decided to just completely ignore most of the battle, and only once all the bombing had happened, they suddenly turned around and went, "Oh, there's some Russians down at low altitude. I better go and fight it." And they jumped in at the end, and they were shooting down some Sturmovix, but we ran out of time because they went off the board. We ran out of time. I couldn't get enough losses to do anything, but so it was a win for him again. And so we're on to this one here, Operation Kutuzov, which is again him doing the bombing. So we're just setting up at the moment. We haven't really started here. So I've got some artillery, which is going to try and bomb with some A-20s, some Havocs, I think they're called, Boston's Havocs, Soviet versions, with some Yaks in close. Let's zoom in a bit. Close escort, and then some LA-5s, Lavochkins up here, trying to sweep away. And I've got a couple of flights of Focke-Wulf 190s, a flight of 109s, and a whole squadron of 109s here, hoping to get in and win that. So looking at, so if he wins this, then it will be a Soviet victory. If not, if I win it, that actually comes as a -2, so that will move across as a stalemate on my side, but it's still a stalemate. So it's a draw effectively, the whole campaign. That's it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, four scenarios in a row. You're not sure which ones until you win or lose, and that's the curse. So it's quite nice. You don't have to learn any extra game to play this campaign. Why aren't you playing in live for us to watch? Well, this is a chat show, so I will be doing that. Yes, I will. We'll be doing more of that, but getting around to it, and it's a busy life at the moment. But yes, playing that live because I have a vassal opponent who's actually Australian. So at the moment, it's actually he's probably waking up about now. But yes, yeah, a little difficult. So these are offline vassal games that have been going on for a while. Yeah, I was playing a game before that with him. Trying to remember what it was. It's been in the previous chats I've talked about it. So that's that's Wing Leader. Then I am playing, as I said before, the Next War Vietnam. I am the Vietnamese, and again, my opponent is from Australia. I don't know what it is, me and Australians, but it just seemed to happen. And he's attacking. We're most of the way through the first turn. I haven't been playing that long, and I think I'm doing okay. So there's been a lot of missile strikes launched. If we look at the operational map, you guys can see that. He's struck my air bases here. I've struck back a little bit, but on the main map, he's also destroyed some airfields here, which is not good. He's landed some paratroopers down in the bottom right hand corner here because I get reinforcements through this yellow board edge here. So he's kind of trying to set up a line to stop me from bringing in my reinforcements from South Vietnam. Amusing thing that's happened over in the west here, if I zoom in. So a lot of my strikes, I don't have that. I have the American, the US Navy and Air Force on my side. So and special forces as well. So I was trying to sort of stymie this attack that's coming down this road, and first tried to do some targeting using American special forces and completely failed. Then I got a B2 strike in, which again completely failed. So what then I did was I did a missile strike from my central HQ, my Supreme HQ over here. 24 hex range, and I tried to do an interdiction. You can see that interdict strike number there, and it actually succeeded. Didn't have a lot of chance of succeeding, but actually succeeded, and actually it had a huge effect. So what happened is that it's +1 movement points, which is okay, yeah, but also you can't use roads. So this road, all this terrain here is jungle, and all of these units are mechanized or motorized, and they don't really like going through jungle. So it actually completely stymied his attack. He's had a movement phase and an exploit phase, and he's only just got these guys through that hex, and you can see these other guys are still stuck behind. His attacks kind of bounced as well. He rolled quite badly. But also on my turn, you see this strike one marker, I've actually sneaked this tank unit up to actually occupy the border again. So potentially cutting off these guys, but I don't know. We'll have to see how the effect happens. Up on the north, again, he pretty much bounced. He removed an outpost here, but everywhere else he's kind of not got very far, but he's just about to... I think there's going to be another movement and combat phase from him before the end of the turn, so we'll see what happens. On just looking at that map, as you can see, we do have quite a bit of the US Air Force here, but they're over in Japan. And I've got tell you what, I'm the goal's appeared, and I'm the goal is my wing leader opponent. So good to see you. I was just speculating whether you'd woken up yet, mate. So good to see you, Ivan. And I just went through where we were with our wing leader game. So yes, back to this one. I've got the US Air Force. They're all in Japan and they're all out of range. I've got my B2s over in Guam, which I used, but the B-52s weren't ready, and as the B1 is not stealthy, if we look at the air superiority area, as you can see here, they've got completely air superiority, and over in the top corner here they have air supremacy on the chart here as well. So just sending bombers on their own is, unless they're stealthy, is a real problem. Chinese have a hell of a lot of aircraft, as you can see, and they've been using a lot of airstrikes as well. So yeah, that's our next war, Vietnam. Say two thirds, 3/4 of the way through the first turn. We'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. Have I played Silver Bayonet? I had a copy of the original Silver Bayonet from GMT ages ago, and I played around with a little bit. I'll be honest, I can't quite remember. Can you hear me? Hello? Should be able to hear me. Hello, hello. Yeah? Have you got me? Let me know in the chat if you can still hear me. All right. Yeah, you got me right. Yeah. So so my daughter also with Wingspan, she also got me these wireless microphone thingies. So I was just trying them out actually, and they work really well. But clearly, the battery only lasts so long. So yeah, it's turned itself off. So I've switched to my my standard mic, and yeah, sorry about that. Thanks for that. Where were we? Yeah, Pericles. Yes, here we go. So this was a replacement game for Churchill's Greatest Gamble, Gallipoli 1915. I was playing, and so here I'm one of the Spartans. I'm the Agiads, and we're just in the middle-ish of game one, of turn one of a campaign game. Most of us are learning it, I think. So again, me and 3 Aussies. So it's everybody's the other side of the globe. But there you go. I think we're doing okay, but it's early days. I sound better on the mic. Yeah, it's probably it's a bigger thing, isn't it? Let's face it. Yeah. Yeah. So we're placing issues here, and then we're going to go and turn those issues over and actually affect things on the board. As far as honour goes, which is kind of victory points, I'm ahead, but not by much. Did quite well in the assembly, the Spartan assembly here, and of course Ivan there. I'm the goal is actually, I think he's the demagogues on the Athens side, so we're opponents on this. But there you go. That's what I've been playing. I'm now reluctant to move across to the under the Southern Cross now because the sound will have a problem. Because I thought it'd be good if I had this wireless microphone, but let's see, can I get across? Yes, hang on, let me see if I can enable this. Can you see that? Oh, needs to be expanded. Should be able to see that's my under the Southern Cross on the table at the moment. As I haven't really started it, just it's the first scenario, just going through it, and yeah, just kind of learning the system here. But that's what I'm currently playing on the table. Over Christmas and actually over the period of the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have to be. You probably know from previous chats that when somebody comes to stay in the house, this turns into a bedroom, so everything has to be put away, and that'll be happening next weekend. So you just did that scenario, Tweez. How'd it go? Let me know. Let me know. So yeah, that's what I'm got on the table myself. Do we have any more for games or game experiences that sucked in 2023? Anybody else to let us know? And if I'm the goal, if you say it's any of the games I'm playing in, then yeah, that's a game experience that sucked, then I'm going to hang up now. So don't do that. Right, that's that done. Where are we going next? Let's just turn that off. So we're back here. What do we get to? Expected games to come. Right. Okay. What do we got here? So, one that I'm waiting to appear is it's on GameFound. Is 7093 Patriots and Traitors. Not necessarily a war game, but it's got a cool meeple for the for Madame de Guillotine. So this is quite good. So I backed this, and it's looks quite cool. That's what you get in the map. There's a map of Paris, play aids, cards, and I think it's five up to 5 players can play. And yeah, here we go. All the different 5 players, and then we've got the cards, which look really nice. I mean, you've got to say those cards look really good. Nice. Oh, he's being kind. He's being kind. Yeah. Not it went back bad for the United Provinces, which it's kind of Argentina, isn't it, in the game? Commander went down with a ship. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think that was kind of historical. It didn't. I think the history was saying it was not very good for the United Provinces, certainly. So yeah, this is 1793. So waiting for that to arrive. We've also got from GameFound from the same guys, which I think is going to arrive sooner. This is Ilau 1807. Napoleonic Battle. So it's first part of a series. Again, looks really cool. More traditional hex and counter here. From what I understand, it's a bit more complex than the Hexasim system, but not as complex as the La Bataille system. But it's got some unique features. There's some interesting fatigue rules. You can see these little blocks, wooden blocks here, which is about army fatigue as well, which will be interesting to look at. But Ilau's an interesting battle anyway. It's a real outlier. Yeah, midwinter blizzard. Reinforcements coming from who knows where. Mistakes and everything. So it's an interesting battle. Interesting one for them to start with. So yeah, hopefully that should appear in the next couple of months. On the GMT side, so I'm waiting now. I understand from Second Chance Games, which is the outlet in the UK from GMT for P500, that these guys are in their hands now. This P500 release set, which have got 2 games. The first one, Norman Conquests, Men of Iron Volume 5. So yeah, very much a lot of English or British interest here. Hastings, Stamford Bridge, Fulford, Lewis, Evesham. These battles be interesting. So this is Men at Arms, Men of Iron, Men at Arms, Men of Iron. Sort of not an expansion; it's a standalone game, but with more battles in, slightly earlier than the ones in Men of Iron. So yeah, looking forward to that. That should be here in a few days. I would have thought, as I got confirmed that NES Winter Victory. Yeah, I haven't got any NES games. I know they're always good, good quality and stuff, but very expensive. I've never really gone for any of them. So be interesting to let me know how that goes when you get it. Try Operational Strategy Group Library and Napoleon Battle Series. Yes, I have. In fact, I did get a playthrough, a brief playthrough. I think it was a couple of years ago now for the Battle of Shevardino. I played that live with an opponent, so check it out on the channel. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, they're okay. They're okay. Again, it's probably a step down from Hexasim on the difficulty, or rough, maybe a little bit similar on the difficulty stuff. So yeah, the only thing about them is they're really very expensive for what they are. I do have one. I've got the 4 battles lost. I think 4 lost battles. Grossbeer and Kulm, Katzbach and Denowitz, I think, the 4 battles in 1813. 1813 is kind of a thing with me. So yeah, I'm aware of them, and I have tried them. Winter Victory is update Wellington's Victory. Yes, I used to have a copy of that, Wellington's Victory. Interesting game. That was quite a good system. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, so that's Norman Cold Quests, and also I'll have to back out here. We've got, of course, the Plum Island Horror, Herman Lutman's game, and yes, much loved by the guys in the War Room. So yeah, it's looking forward to this as well. Is there a lot of pictures here? Got a lot of. We haven't got a lot of pictures here, but we certainly get the. So I think there's been quite a lot of play on this because, of course, you guys in the States have got this already. So I think there's a lot of stuff out there already. But Mike, sure, we do need to play stuff. We in the past we talked about, what was it, High Frontier as well. Should get some play together, absolutely. So yeah, got that coming again. Hopefully next couple of days. So that would be it. What else have we got here? So the only other thing I've got coming, I think. Oh no, there is this, of course. Compass Games, The Enemies at the Gates, and I've been banging on about this. If you've been in the previous chats and stuff, I just bang on about this game. I don't know why. Company scale system, Berlin 1985. I don't quite know why it's got my my attention so much, but it has. They've just released some map art here. Here we got Tempelhof Airport. It's interesting, and I have actually seen the outside of that. Checkpoint Charlie. Here we got the Reichstag and the Brandenburg Gate here, and Unter den Linden and everything. Yeah, all interesting stuff. So this is a 4 mapper plus a single extra map, little A4 letter map, and yeah, I think the Kickstarter has already finished, and they are shipping. I think they're going to ship from the US on the 26th. Is the last thing I heard about the Enemies at the Gate. So I should get it. sometime mid to end of February, I think. That's one I'm really looking forward to. Like the CSS system, you probably saw before Christmas I was playing the Little Land, the CSS Soviet World War II game, just a little version of that. And this is the same system, but of course updated for 1980s. But it would just be interesting. A lot of urban combat and stuff would be quite interesting here. So yeah, I don't. It's just kind of caught my attention. So yeah, expecting that. Finally, the other one is the other side of the hill. So this is kind of Wargame, not a Wargame kind of thing again. It's you represent some German generals during World War II, generals and field marshals, and you're trying to conduct the war to the best advantage for yourself. And yeah, it's very different. I don't know. Let's have a look at the campaign itself. So that's again, I think that's the pledging has finished on that. But yeah, that's looking really quite interesting as well. So you conduct the war. There's quite a few scenarios as well, as I understand it. You don't have to play the whole war. You can do particular situations during the war where you're kind of competing with other players who have other German generals and just trying to elbow yourself into being famous, I think, is the main thing here. But just kind of like the idea that it was, you know, a very different take. And that's Nat War Games. They're Spanish guys. I think they're from Madrid. The ILAO 1807 and the Patriots and Traitors is what's the name of the game? Game company is Sound Drums. They're Swiss, I think. So it's interesting. These are all this side of the pond. We'll be able to get them quicker than usually from the US. So you got banish all their fears. Okay. Yeah. I didn't go for that one. Didn't get. And four mapper. Wow. Yeah. Okay. That's quite big. So yeah. No, I didn't go for that. So I just got the Plum Island Horror. And I've got the Norman Conquest coming from GMT, but that's all the games I'm expecting. A little bit of a dearth after that. I haven't got very much coming out of. Not too much on the sort of, medium or short to medium term on the P500. So, but it's not like I don't have enough to be getting on with, of course. So good. How are we doing? Well, it's been an hour and a half. Chewed up through an hour and a half of everybody's day. It's been wonderful, but I think I'll probably hold it there because I think you guys are probably sick of me by now. Let's see if I can get me back up on the... Where am I? Here we go. I'm back. And I'm back, yes. So yeah, you guys are probably a bit sick of me now. Been wittering on to no great effect. And yeah, thanks very much for your 2023 games that sucked. I think sick of me? Yes, absolutely. Lies and slander. Yeah, just being honest. Yeah, I think it was right at the beginning. I think it was Nordic, wasn't it? Who came up with probably the best suckage. Again, invented name by me just for this particular chat. I can't remember what were you saying? It was Hitler's Last Gamble. That was it. Yeah, we'll go with that for the prize. The prize, no prize. Historic Wings, yeah, lots of fun. Good, yeah. Good to see you, Thomas, as well. And yeah, we will sort something about your games and my head actually being able to occupy the same space in a successful way. We'll get round to that, absolutely. And yeah, Hitler's Last Gamble for 3W. Yes, indeed. Well done. That's you get the prize of absolutely nothing. And so next week, The war room will be back. I know it'll be very boring, and you'll have to sit through it and suffer rather than talk to me and chat with me. But everybody's got their cross to bear, I suppose. So I'll just have to leave it there, and I'll be in the chat with you guys next. Actually, I won't. Actually, yeah. Ooh, no. No, actually, I won't be in the chat next week. Yeah, next week I'm on stage doing a panto. So and the week after, so I won't be there in the chat for the next couple of weeks. Good, I got all my licks in this time rather than waiting for the war room to get back on track. But anyway, you'll be suitably mesmerised and impressed by the likes of Jester, Tony, and Rough Swordsman again. And this will all be a dim, distant memory. Yes, the Blue Panto on stage, indeed. Oh, no, you're not. Oh, yes, I am. And after a couple of weeks, it will be behind me. So, yeah, all the standard jokes. But thanks very much for tuning in and listening to me wibble on about not very interesting stuff. And I shall see you on the channel soon. And there'll, of course, be another chat at some point. Where we can all gather together and see what other games that suck. So keep an eye out, keep in your memory something you don't like, and so you'll be able to you'll be able to let us know next time. But until then, it's bye bye from me, and thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.